All right, people, we're back. Episode 8.
Episode 8.
How's it going, Mike?
How's it going with you, JJ?
I don't know. We need
Just
to
living a dream.
crack these bastards open. Let's crack them. Or they twist. It's a hot day here in central Wisconsin. Rough week. I got enough chaos. I'll edit that out. Okay. Raw. What do you think of Raw, Mike?
Kind of boring. Very, very boring.
Very boring.
And in fact, I'm halfway through Raw. It was probably 8:30, 9 o'clock. Me and my wife watched a skit on YouTube. I turned Raw off for like 20 minutes. So, and I usually never do that, but I was so unbelievably bored with Raw that.
Yeah, we're getting Lashley and Reigns like we wanted, but it's literally the same conversation every week.
Exactly.
And then, how many times did we hear Reigns' theme music last night? 7, 8, 9, 12 times. 2 matches. I'm not a fan of the Revival. They're very bland, just really boring. The guy with the goofy beard he's got some character to him, but the other dude is just so boring.
They kind of remind me of Arnatelli. Their in-ring.
Yeah, and their technique, I guess, but they're not big dudes. They're probably 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, they're not big at all.
But to me they're really boring. And
one thing I didn't get is in the back, Lashley was worried about Reigns getting hurt. Oh, I don't want Reigns to get hurt because that's going to affect my match with Reigns against the Revival. Then when Rollins and Reigns were teaming up against Ziggler and McIntyre, the Revival came out, so it was 4-on-2.
Where's Lashley?
That didn't make any sense. It's like a plot. It's like in a movie. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and it's like they're both trying to build up to be heel.
Yeah.
And you can't have 2 heels.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And then he walked out at the end of the match. He walked out on Lashley and was getting double teamed, which is okay, I guess, But it was just it's very predictable and just boring. And then we had Reigns and Dolph and Drew in the ring together. That looked good. I like that.
That'd be a good feud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think maybe I'm sure it's coming. Reigns will probably get the belt again, and then have a McIntyre Reigns feud for the championship. That'd be cool. We had another vanilla, bland, boring match with Nia and Mickey.
But Mickey James shouldn't even be on the roster anymore.
No. She's dealing with what she's given. I just don't like Nia Jax. I think she's not good. I think Mickey had to carry that whole match, and it was just a bunch of holds and stuff, and I just didn't like it. They announced some matches for Extreme Rules. I don't mind Rusev, but he's kind of a face, isn't he?
See, I like Rusev. I don't know why they keep trying to build him as a heel, and everybody cheers him.
Yeah, everybody cheers him. I don't like that other dude with him.
That sings
in
English.
God, that's so annoying. I don't like that at all. That's ugh.
But the night because he's on SmackDown, so 2 nights after WrestleMania, they should have officially turned him heel.
Yeah.
Turned him face, not heel. Technically was already heel, but they should have officially turned him face. I don't know why they keep trying to push him as a heel when nobody boos him when he comes out.
No, and it's usually like they have the foreigners, always the heels, so you could do the USA chant for the face who's from United States. So yeah, it's just weird. Oh, we forgot to mention on our board the main event. I totally forgot to even put that on.
Kevin Owens getting pushed over
and then so conveniently tipped over in the back behind a curtain where he could just slide in and throw some paint on. That didn't look like the blue urinal stuff. That was too thick. That was stupid.
And he was like, acting like he was all hurt.
Yeah.
That wasn't that long of a drop. He went
you
to
dropped 3 feet, dude. Chill out.
He wouldn't have been that hurt.
Yeah, I didn't understand it.
I don't know what they're planning on with Strowman.
Yeah.
And everybody talks about and hates Reigns for he never loses. He's Vince's boy. And I like Strowman, but nobody says the same thing about Strowman, and it's pretty much the same thing. You know?
Yeah. It's like you're shoving Strowman down our
exactly, but nobody says anything.
No, so I don't get it.
I like Strowman, but
I do too.
He is kind of being forced down our throats, just like Reigns.
But I think that's because of Brock not being on TV, and you've got a guy with Money in the Bank and no champion to cash it in.
Yeah.
So they're just stalling and stalling, you know.
And I still don't know. I heard on a couple of websites that they still don't know what's going on with Lesnar. I thought that was just a storyline last week, but they actually don't know what's going on with Lesnar.
Strip him of the belt, have a tournament, King of the Ring. Why don't they have a King of the Ring?
Exactly.
Strip him the belt.
Bring back the King of the Ring. I've said that for years.
Didn't Jack Tunney used to tell us that title needs to be defended every 30 days or it becomes vacant, right?
Exactly.
Jack Tunney. I love that man.
I think he's not with us anymore.
Who was he? Was he anybody? Or was he just an
some
actor who played the president of the company? Of Titan Towers.
Some jabroni they picked up at
Grandpa, can you be Jack
I don't think Jack Tunney was his real name, but remember Jack Tunney, I haven't heard of that name.
I got excited every time he came on TV.
Because you knew it was big news.
What's going on?
Jack
Tunney's on TV. Everybody shut up.
Did Jack Tunney ever take any bumps? Do you remember?
No, he just sat at a desk, probably wearing his pajama pants and a jacket.
I don't remember. Jack Tunney, I think it was Jack Tunney and Mean Gene are the only two announcers or authority figures that I don't think I ever took any bumps. Mean Gene never took any bumps.
I don't think so.
Somebody might have pushed him a couple times, but no.
Maybe like on Primetime Wrestling, him and Bobby Heenan did some goofy stuff. Maybe not a bump. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? I don't remember Mean Gene ever taking a bump. But
I don't think so. That might be something to look into. So yeah, Strowman's getting shoved down our throats. I'm not a huge fan of Kevin Owens. Like, his nostrils are so goddamn big. His face is a mess. His beard looks like some old man's wrinkly balls. I'll edit that out. That sounds bad.
There's one.
But he's funny. He's funny.
Yeah.
He's funny. He's a good talker. He's good in the ring. I just can't stand looking at him.
There's one match that could be a very good match at Extreme Rules that they announced last night. Is Seth against Dolph in a 30-minute Iron Man match at Ziggler.
I know he can wrestle.
Yeah.
I know he can. I know an Iron Man match and Dolph. You know, that's like gonna be awesome.
I've always thought he kind of reminds me of Billy Gunn, just his in-ring style.
Well, he does the Fameasser too, right?
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? His body and in-ring style. He reminds me of.
I always
Billy
thought
Gunn.
of him as a Bush League cheap ripoff of Shawn Michaels. Like, he always wanted. I always saw him as a.
You're giving him a lot more credit.
No, like not his wrestling moves, just his, I guess, his character. That's like what he was trying to be.
Yeah.
You know, like, just he just looks goofy to me when he does try to be cool, whatever he's trying to do. I don't know. Yeah, Raw sucked, of course.
You got what about Sasha and Bailey doing counseling?
That's dumb. They totally ruined it. What that heat that Bailey had last week. You just put it out. That was dumb.
Wasn't that the same guy that did
Dr. Shelby? Yeah, he's the same.
Team Hell No?
Yeah, that's the same. So I'm glad that's the same. He's kind of a cool character. But it's just they ruined it.
They should just. I don't know why they needed to do that. They just have them wrestle.
Just let them fight.
Yeah.
Have Sasha stay face if you want to make Bailey heel, and then just a role reversal and
Those
go.
two have amazing chemistry when they wrestle.
Yeah.
I don't understand. They shouldn't have never even had them team up in the first place. They had the one of the best rivalries in NXT history, and then they were all lovey-dovey when they both got called up to the main roster. It didn't make any sense. If you watched NXT, they had amazing chemistry as adversaries.
Yeah.
They should have never teamed them up to begin with. Never got that.
They ruined it. I was so excited when Bailey flipped last week. And then counseling. It's just we don't need all that popcorn silly shit in the back. Just give us an awesome face and an awesome heel and go to town.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we want. We don't need counseling and videos, and it's dumb. It's dumb. So, are we done with Raw? Because that was...
We got to talk about Rousey being at Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
But okay, so if she's not banned from Extreme Rules, why does she have to buy a ticket? Why can't she just be in the back and do a run-in? Why does she...
Because technically she's suspended.
From Raw.
From Raw. But
she even said, I'm not suspended from Extreme Rules. So yeah, just show up and run in, right? You don't need to buy a ticket unless you're just going to sit there during the whole 17-hour pay-per-view, whatever they are now, and just like stand up and rant outside the ring. But I think a run-in would be better if she just ran in during the match and cost somebody something. So I don't know. I'm just sick of being disappointed every week.
It was very, very boring last night.
Yeah.
Very boring.
And Extreme Rules is going to look... That's going to look
I don't
fun,
understand why every pay-per-view now has got to be 4 hours. That's just silly.
Starts at 6, right? 6 Central.
Yeah.
And then
It goes till 10:30. Why? Save the 4 hours to for the big ones.
Yeah.
SummerSlam, Survivor
big four.
Series, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. Actually, I think I've heard people say this, and I think it's true. I think Money in the Bank has kind of overtaken Survivor Series as one of the big fours.
God, Survivor Series was one of my favorites.
It was awesome but it's kind of the whole 8-man tag team thing. It's kind of everybody does that on Raw, so it's not special.
Because your roster's just oversaturated.
Yeah.
You've got 100 people on your roster. You don't need that many. Thin it out, and then have a Survivor Series 4-on-4. Or I remember when it's 5-on-5. Teams of 5.
Last year they did, and I hope they do it this year. Last year for Survivor Series, it was SmackDown versus Raw.
Perfect. Right?
Yes.
Just you don't even. Then you have a championship match. Doesn't even have to be for a title. Just the Raw champ versus SmackDown champ, and then 3 or 4 other 5-on-5s.
Yeah.
And then a women's 5-on-5. Right?
Yeah, because they did AJ versus Brock, which it was an absolute joke that AJ lost to Brock. AJ had the best year of any professional wrestler last year, and he loses to somebody that wrestles 3 times a year.
Yeah. I've read something funny on Twitter. It was the new wrestling game that's coming out. Brock is you can use Brock in the game, but only 4 times a year.
That's good.
Wouldn't that be funny if that was actually how it worked? Only 1 match remaining this year. Yeah, I'm just very disappointed with Brock. I thought he was going to be a fighting champ. I don't need to see him every week, but at least every 30 days, at every pay-per-view.
Well, everybody that I talked to was worried that Ronda was going to be like Brock, and I said I don't think she is because Ronda doesn't need wrestling. She's got so many endorsements.
Yeah,
she doesn't need wrestling. She's doing this because it was her dream to be a wrestler. She doesn't need to be in wrestling. Brock, she's just doing it for the money.
Yeah. Yep.
Ronda, she doesn't need the money.
Some people, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't get it. I think they need to get the belt off of Brock sooner than later, somehow. Strip it. Just strip it. If you don't want to work, then you're done.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Because there's so many others out there that are deserving. Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre. Why am I holding up 3 fingers? I only counted 2.
Roman.
I said Roman. Rollins. Strowman. I guess Kevin Owens is worthy. He was a good champ.
Sami Zayn when he comes back.
Yeah. Hate that guy. So yeah, we're gonna have another bland pay-per-view in a couple weeks, 2 weeks. Yeah. So let's bust out our top 10s.
Yeah, I think that's it for Raw.
Yeah, we got it. Boring. Top 10s.
It's our top 10 women wrestlers.
Women wrestlers, and it seems like every time we do this, they get harder and harder and harder.
This was probably my hardest, because I usually like thinking outside the box for my first couple. I couldn't think about anything. All these people, everybody's heard of. So
I'm actually gonna start with. Do you have more than 10 on your list?
I narrowed it down to 10. I always start with like.
I'm gonna include some honorable mentions because there was a lot of women wrestlers, but they're all to me they're all the same pretty face.
Yeah.
And half of them can't work. So, and then the ones that could work weren't that pretty. So there's my first honorable mention, Bull Nakano. Remember her?
Oh yeah.
Big hair, face paint, just a big chick, right? She could move. She was like Awesome Kong-ish. Mm-hmm. Just never really went anywhere in the United States because she wasn't the prettiest. Can't sell that. Another one, I've got Sarah Del Rey. I think she's an Impact. I just remember her name. Gail Kim is an honorable mention, and sadly, I put Rockin' Robin as an honorable mention.
I remember Rockin' Robin.
Rockin' Robin, just one of them that I grew up watching. So, do you have any honorable mentions? Somebody you want to include that you didn't put on your 10?
I liked.
Because this was a tough list.
It was very tough, but a woman that I always thought was a very good wrestler was Molly Holly. She's one of my honorable mentions.
Another one that could actually wrestle.
Yeah.
Yep.
And one woman that did not make my top 10, but is an honorable mention is Paige. I like Paige.
She's too pale. I couldn't stand looking at her.
She was a good wrestler, though.
Yeah, she's a good wrestler. I'll give her that. All right, why don't you hit me with your number 10?
My number 10, I don't really have a reason for it. I just thought she was a cool wrestler, was Beth Phoenix.
Yeah, I didn't even put her down. I thought she was a cheap ripoff of Chyna. She could wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought she just was shoved down our throats to take Chyna's spot. So, yeah, that's an honorable mention for me, I guess. Actually, I should have probably replaced her with someone on my list. This was such a tough list.
I know, it's very
I'm almost
hard.
Embarrassed by this list because it's bad. How many more beers you got in that cooler, guy?
A few more.
Hook me up.
You want one?
But you took like 3 sips out of yours?
Yeah.
I had a rough day. I'm moving. Might as well just crash in the studio today. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
I thought you were gonna bring something exotic beers.
It's probably my favorite beer right now. Blue Moon.
Yeah, this is the beer I have for breakfast.
He's picking on me now.
All right, my number 10. Only because I think she's gonna be the next big thing, and I'm in love with her. She's gorgeous. She can wrestle. Tessa Blanchard. I had to put her on my 10.
She's an Impact, I think.
Yeah, she's all over the place, but yeah. Oh man, I don't.
Looks a lot like her dad.
Yeah. I don't like to say to a lot of the good wrestlers, oh, she showed up like at Ring of Honor or something. But I want her in WWE to wrestle Charlotte, because that would just be so perfect.
And then Rick could be in.
Yep, and Tully in the other. Or Magnum TA. Have them both. It's her stepdad, I think, right?
Is it?
Yeah. Her stepdad or some. Yeah, stepdad. So how about your number 9?
My number 9, I thought she was a damn good wrestler. And I kind of liked her crazy gimmick. My number 9 is Luna Vachon.
Oh yeah, she was crazy. Daughter of Mad Dog.
That voice.
Yeah. She's still married to Gangrel.
I think she's dead.
Luna's dead?
I think she passed away a while ago.
No kidding. I didn't know that. No.
I think she did.
Wow.
I could be wrong, but
how did we not hear about that?
This is a while ago. This is before we started this.
Oh, so more than 8 weeks ago.
More than 8 weeks ago, she passed away.
All right, my number 9. I had to put her on here because she just had to carry a match with Nia last night. Mickie James. She showed up. She could work. Then she left for Impact or TNA, whatever it was. She did good there and came back. She's a really good wrestler. She's good at making other people look good, because she's just an overall a good wrestler. Just can sell, she's very flexible. Last night she was kicking Nia in the face.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's way up
Did you
there.
miss that? Yeah, that's way up there. She's like 5'10". All right. Number 8.
My number 8, I knew I was going to put this woman on my list somewhere. I liked her as a wrestler, and I don't think she gets nearly enough love from the WWE, just because of some very, very petty BS.
Gail Kim.
My number 8 is AJ Lee.
Yeah, I should have put AJ Lee on my list. That's a good one.
Just because what her husband did.
Punk.
They don't mention her, and I think that's wrong.
I think she's probably, one of the last good female wrestlers.
Exactly. I watched a documentary on the network. This is probably a year ago, and it was like one of those WWE 24s, and it was all about the women's revolution.
Yeah.
And they mentioned the Bella Twins, and they mentioned people that can't wrestle.
They
never
mention
once
AJ Lee.
And that, oh my God, just because of what her husband did. You don't mention her?
Ain't that sick?
How petty is that?
That's just dumb. That's dumb.
So when I knew we were going to do it, I knew I had to put her on there.
Yeah, I regret not putting her on here, but I have Mickie James. So my number 8 is Charlotte. Like right now, I think she's probably one of the top, probably the best female wrestler. She's not bad to look at. She can actually wrestle. Her character is just like her dad's,
Yeah.
Just an arrogant. Oh, you love to hate him, right? So how about your number 7?
My number 7, for reasons you just said, is Charlotte Flair.
Cool. My number 7 is Wendy Richter. Only because when I first got into wrestling, she was like the top female wrestler. I don't really remember if she could actually wrestle.
See, that's why she didn't even make my list, because I don't even remember if she was a good
wrestler. I think she was just flamboyant and the pretty.
I remember her from the Rock and Wrestling Cindy Lauper days.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
I don't remember if she
I had
was
to
a
put
good
her on
wrestler or
here
not.
somewhere, and I didn't know where else to put her. Yeah, this was just a real tough list. Just looking at it now, it's like, why is that there? So, okay. How about your number 6?
My number 6, I just loved her in-ring style. My number 6 is Lita.
Poof. I got her a little higher, guy. Yeah. She showed up.
Those moonsaults, and she did those hurricanranas when she was managing the Hardy Boys.
Then she started in ECW, right?
Yeah.
Miss
Congeniality.
Miss Congeniality, yes.
Then she went to WWE, and she was with...
Well, I can't think of his name.
Essa Rios.
Thank you. Oh, you are a nerd. I knew he was making.
He only lasted like a month.
Yeah, and it's like, oh crap, he's gone. What do we do with her? Because she can go. Put him with the Hardys. That was perfect, right?
Yeah, Team Extreme.
Team Extreme. Yeah, I loved her with the Hardys. The moonsaults, a lot of the stuff off the top ropes. She was tall and limber and good looking, and it was just, yeah. So I put her higher. She's on here. So my number 6 is Natty Neidhart. She's probably, oh shit, I forgot to put Becky Lynch on here.
See.
I was gonna say Natty's probably one of the most underrated wrestlers, and who do I say is the most underrated wrestler is Becky Lynch. How did I forget Becky Lynch? Son of a bitch. Yeah, Natty's got the family name, you know, which is awesome. Her entire family is superstars, so of course she's gonna be good. I don't like her on the mic, but in the ring, she's very good. She can work with anybody. I just wish she would speed up that sharpshooter a little bit. Just turn it up a notch. All right, number 5.
My number 5, I put her on the list for the simple reason I've never seen a female improve as much as this woman from start to finish. My number 5 is Trish Stratus.
You got her at 5?
Yeah.
Damn.
My number 5 is Trish Stratus because you watch when she first started wrestling.
Yeah.
When she first started, she was a manager first.
Yeah, she was with TNA.
Then when she first started wrestling, you were like, ooh, she's not the... And then you watch her at the end, she improved 1,000%.
I've got her much higher because of that, because she was one of my favorites. She was just overall, like, just amazing to look at, to watch, and just wrestles. She could just...
But you know what I'm saying?
Off the top rope.
She improved so much from start to finish.
Yeah.
I've never seen a wrestler, not just a female wrestler, a wrestler improve as much as she did.
That was your number 5? My number 5 is Chyna. I know she's on your list. She's probably next.
She's a little higher than mine.
You know, before she had the face job.
He's a little offended by the porn, I think.
For some reason, I clicked on it. Didn't need to see that. She's at number 5 because she could do things that other women couldn't. She was strong. She was muscular. She could pee standing up.
That wasn't proven.
That wasn't proven. I bet she could though. Yeah, she's, you know, didn't she first one in the Royal Rumble, first female in the Royal Rumble. But yeah, she was. Didn't she beat Jeff Jarrett for the Intercontinental? Yeah. So, yeah, she did things that the other women could not do, never did before. So that was my number 5. You got 4?
My number 4 is like my first like badass woman that I ever seen in wrestling. She could legitimately kick any guy's ass. She had a black belt in karate. Her name was Medusa.
Oh, mofo. I got her higher. Yeah, Medusa.
She was the...
Oh, yeah. That one stings a little bit, guy. You have her at 4. Okay. Yeah, I was in love with Medusa.
And she was a badass.
She was like
a black belt.
She could kick your ass. The only tarnish she has on her resume is probably dropping the belt on WCW. Dropping the women's champion.
I watched an interview with her and she said that was her biggest regret. She didn't.
That was Bischoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, whatever you got to do to pay the bills. But yeah, she was my favorite. She's much, much higher. So that was your 4? My 4 is Lita. Yeah, I loved her. She was just, you know, her little thong hanging out of her pants. And oh. Yeah. What do you got for 3?
My number 3 is Chyna.
Okay.
I liked her when she was with DX and then when she went on her own and became a wrestler. I think she was a good wrestler, and I liked her.
Do you think she'll ever be inducted into the Hall of Fame?
That's another discussion for another day. You know, my
But we
feeling on
discussed
that.
it last week, right? Can't we just continue from last week?
She should be in the Hall of Fame, and I think it's a joke that she's not in the Hall of Fame. You got people like Jackie that are in the Hall of Fame.
Did she make your
And
honorable mentions?
No. And Ivory.
Ivory
Wasn't bad.
Ivory wasn't bad. She started in Glow.
Yeah.
I didn't mind her.
It wasn't bad, but she's not China.
I don't think she should have came in with two black dudes and then call her Ivory. You know, that was just stupid. So that was your 3?
Yeah.
My 3 is Sherry Martel. Sensational Sherry. I hope she's on your list. Yeah, she's the first woman I ever fell in love with. Tommy Wildfire Rich ripped off her
She was
skirt.
wearing like a big teddy.
Oh my God, I was probably like 10 or 12. I'm like, I'm a man. Shit, thank you, Sherry.
Every week I knocked that down.
Every week. Let's go 1 week without Stone Cold getting a headache. Sherry Martel, yeah. She was just an evil, evil woman. I don't know if that's why I liked her so much. Maybe that's why I like evil women now. In real life and on TV, I guess. But even as a manager with Savage, she was just awesome. Who else did she manage?
I think she managed Ric Flair in WCW.
Yep. All right, how about your number 2?
My number 2 was when I first started watching wrestling. This lady was like the number 1 heel in wrestling, and I had to put her on there. Her name was the Fabulous Moolah.
Really? Ugh. She was like 90 when we were started.
She was still wrestling though.
I know. That just feels dirty. I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, I don't like that one. Yeah, she was a good wrestler, and she held the belt for what, 17 years or something like that.
I know I had to put her on the list, and she was a very good heel when I was a kid. So
yeah. So where would you put Mae Young then?
well, Mae Young wasn't even wrestling.
All right, so my number 2 is Trish Stratus. I walked in here with my list and had her at number 1. But I had to move it around a little bit because I thought about it, and Trish is good. She's like, you know, like we said, she improved from day and night.
Yeah.
You know, managing TNA, Test, and Albert, and just becoming champion. I don't know how many times, multiple times. But yeah, I love Trish Stratus. She's just awesome. These get really hard to like. More adjectives. Here's my book of adjectives here. All right, how about your number 1, bud?
My number 1, for reasons already mentioned by my partner, my number 1 is Sherry Martel.
Oh, I love it. Good boy. Good boy. And that works perfect.
She was an awesome, awesome wrestler, and she was an awesome, awesome female manager.
Yeah.
I know we're not talking about managers, but
No.
she did both.
But
And
just overall,
she was awesome. She had mic skills, and then she was a badass.
I met her in Marshfield at a
Did you
house
really?
show.
I
Yeah.
never knew that.
Yeah. She's not as good looking in person. She's dead now too, isn't she?
Yeah.
Man, when did I see her? 15 years ago in Marshfield.
I never knew that.
Yeah. Same night I met Valentine. Who else was there?
Was she nicer than Valentine?
Yeah. Yeah. So who did Sherry have a lot of feuds with in AWA?
I don't really remember.
Didn't she fight Medusa Michelli?
She might have.
Yeah, she did.
She might have.
That's my number 1, Medusa. I just love the name. She's gorgeous. She could fight. She was just the perfect female wrestler. 80s, early 90s. WWE really stunk her up, bringing in Alundra Blaze. That was stupid. You got to bring her in as Medusa and not like try to tame her or water it down. So yeah, I was not a fan of her in WWF, but yeah, just one of my favorites. Number 1 in my book.
And we cannot crack that 7 barrier.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 5, 6. right?
I had Charlotte,
Lita,
Trish,
Medusa,
China. Oh, you didn't have Moolah.
And Martel
right.
and
Okay.
Sherry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6.
God damn.
This was probably the hardest one.
This was really hard because they're all. You either had some like that were really good, like Sherry and Medusa and Trish, and then the rest were just like floundered mediocre. You know.
One of my, if we were doing top 11, my 11th would have been Becky Lynch.
You know what? I should have. Can we redo this? I'm gonna take out Mickie James and put Becky Lynch in there. Because today she is one of my favorites. I don't like the new outfit she's wearing. I don't like her costume she's wearing now, but
Survivor Series, last year they did champion versus champion, Raw versus SmackDown.
Yeah.
I would love to see Becky win the title from Carmella and Rousey win the title from Alexa Bliss, and then Becky versus Ronda at Survivor Series. I think that'd steal the show.
Yeah, but I think with Extreme Rules, we got Carmella versus Asuka. I think Asuka's got to... Why are they putting them together again?
Exactly.
I think this is... I don't know why they're stalling with it. If you're going to drop the belt to Asuka, do it last month at the pay-per-view instead of bringing in that dude. What's his name?
Captain Chin.
Captain Chin. That was... Why did they stall and just procrastinate with stuff and just...
When he came out that match and he was dressed like Asuka in that mask, then he took his mask, I'm like...
You puked a little bit, right?
I'm like... And then the idiot crowd started cheering for him. Why are you idiots cheering for him?
Because the WWE universe is how many people? 10 million people and only 7 last names. They're not the brightest group.
No.
They're not. What are you gonna do? So I think Asuka's gonna get the belt, and then maybe Asuka and Becky Lynch.
That would be a good feud.
But I would like to see. I'm just waiting for Charlotte and Tessa Blanchard. Wouldn't that be beautiful?
That would be awesome.
That'd be such a cool story too. You know, not just a match, but the whole storyline of it. You know, you could bring back a 4 Horsemen type storyline and bring back all these. Maybe that's our problem. At least my problem. I still live in the past with wrestling.
That's my issue, but I'm so glad in more ways than one, not just wrestling, but I'm so glad I grew up when I did.
Yeah.
Because the kids today watching wrestling and other stuff, it would suck growing up in today's world.
That's why. Thank you for bringing that up. Next week we're gonna have our first guest, my nephew Connor. He's a wrestling fan, and I don't understand why. So we're gonna come up with some questions for him, and I don't even know who his favorite is. I told him not to tell me.
I thought you said Cena was his favorite.
No, I think I was joking.
Oh.
I would have punched him in the face if he said that. So next week, special guest Connor.
Yes, first time ever, special guest.
Yep. All right. I think we're good here.
I think we're good.
We're gonna sign out.
Have a great 4th of July, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
All right. See you guys. Thanks for watching.